Hello folks, and welcome to the lease deals of the month for August 2023. In this month's video, we've got some amazing deals. A couple of people said last month all the deals seem to be on small cars. Well, it's quite the opposite this month. There are some really good deals on SUVs, so stay tuned for all that. We've also got some great executive cars in this one. Stay tuned for all this. I'm sitting here on my website at the moment. I'm doing a lot of work on it, so I'm putting some new car guides on here. There is a little bit of a basic guide to leasing if it's new to you. And you can also now book a call with me. If you want to chat about something one-to-one, there's an option now. You'll see that button in the corner of the screen. It says chat with Jim. Go and click on that and you can book a call with me and we can have a one-to-one chat. So as usual, all these deals are 3 months up front, 3-year deals based on 10,000 miles a year. There is a link to Lease Loco in the video description. Click on that. It helps support the channel. You can then go through, do your own searches. You may prefer more or less mileage every year. You might want to leave a larger or a smaller deposit. Use that link, click through, take a look for yourselves. It helps support us. And Lease Loco, unlike some other sites, do vet all their suppliers. They do keep tabs on quality of their suppliers. I think it's by far the best car leasing website in the UK, which is why I use it in these videos. Now, just before we get on with that first deal, please remember to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Only about 25% of you watching this are subscribed. It doesn't cost you anything. Takes a second. Bosh. Done. Please also leave a comment. Even if you just say hello Jim or give us a thumbs up, it all helps with that algorithm thingy. So we're starting off this summer edition. I'm freezing, I've got a jumper on, with the Kia Speed Sportwagon 1.5T GDI ISG2, 8.6 seconds to 62, 158 horsepower, insurance group 14, 625 litres of boot space, which is huge, 50.4 mpg, 761 quid up front and £253 a month. That is an amazing deal. It's such good value for money. In fact, I said it's an amazing deal. It's a fairly average deal on this car. I mean, this just gives you so much for such a small amount of money. Average price on it's 275 quid. It's currently 253. And compared to some of the deals we'll see in this video, it's not an exceptionally amazing price at the moment, but it is a blooming good one. But just think of the amount of value you're getting from that car for that much money. 0-62 time in 8.6, so it's not a slow car. Insurance group 14, so it's going to be pretty cheap to insure. 50 mpg, so it's cheap to run. And you've got 625 litres of boot space, so you could move into it if you needed to. 761 up front and 253 a month. Go and check it out. Next, we've got one of my favourite close cousins of the VW Golf. It's the Cupra Leon. This is the 1.5 TSI V1. £914 up front and £304 a month. 8.9 seconds to 62, 150 horsepower, insurance group 20, 380 litres of boot space and 47.9 mpg. This one is a factory order. You can get stock deals on these, but they are a wee bit more expensive at the moment. 323 has been the average price, currently 304. But as you can see, pricing is dead steady on these. It's not very volatile at all. And this is the cheapest price we've seen it in the last however many months, since November. So that's the cheapest price we've seen it since November, folks. At its peak, it's only ever been 341, currently 304. Great car, good value for money. Get it. Next, we've got the Skoda Karoq. This is the 1.5 TSI Sportline. So Sportline's quite a nice trim level on a Skoda. 8.9 seconds to 62, 148 horsepower, insurance group 19, 521 litres of boot space and 44.1 mpg. So with over 500 litres of boot space, although it's not sort of a big SUV, it really is going to take care of most people's needs, really, isn't it? 1,087 up front and 362 a month. It's had an average price over the last 12 months of £402. This time last year, 436 a month, September 445, December 462, April 413. Last month it was a couple of quid a month cheaper than it is now. It's currently 1,087 up front and 362 a month, which is about 40 quid a month less than the average for the last 12 months. Really is a very nice car. They're well put together. I personally think at the moment, out of the VW group cars, you struggle to beat the build quality you'll find on a Skoda. They're very good. Next, we've got the Ford Kuga 1.5 EcoBoost 150 ST Line Edition. 1100 up front and 365 a month. 9.7 seconds to 62, 150 horsepower. Insurance group 16, 612 litres of boot space. Much bigger boot in a Kuga than most people imagine. I mean, 612 litres is pretty decent. 42.8 mpg on this one. It is a factory order. It's petrol. 441 has been the average price on one of those. Currently 365, so it's a massive saving. The Kuga is a very popular car. You don't often see great deals on them. This is a great deal. This time last year, 435 a month. At its peak in January, £503 a month. Literally just 4 or 5 weeks ago, 494 a month, currently 365 a month with 1100 up front. Look at that saving versus the average of 441, and as I said just a few weeks ago, 494 a month. So 1100 up front, 365 a month is great value. Please use that link to Lease Loco if you're going to inquire on any of these deals, by the way. Next, we've got the Skoda Superb. Now, we could call this a luxury or executive car, or we could call it a family car. It works equally well as either, in fairness. Very nice things, huge cars, basically a Passat, but the Superb has a nice feel to it. 1.5 TSI SE technology, DSG automatic gearbox in this one. It is of course petrol as well. 9.2 seconds to 62, 150 horsepower. 20 is the insurance group, 625 litres of boot space. Even in this hatchback version, I mean, it looks a bit like a saloon, but it is actually a big hatch. Brilliant boot to get things in and out of. You've got a really nice wide opening, very simple to use. 45.4 mpg, 1150 up front and 383 a month is the price on this one, folks. Where's that price tracker gone? There he is. 426 has been the average price over the last 12 months. This time last year, 460 a month. In December, 475 a month. Currently, 383 a month. With 1150 up front. The Superb is just that, really. It's well built, well screwed together, lovely, big, spacious, comfortable Land Cruiser, and I'd be more than happy to have one myself. Nice car. Next, we've got the Peugeot 508 Fastback 1.2 PureTech GT E88 automatic petrol. 10 seconds to 62, 131 horsepower, 487 litres of boot space and 42 mpg. 1158 up front and 386 a month. There have been deals floating around on these for a few weeks now, but just back in May, 692 a month. Then in June, 592 a month. And then since the start of July, we've been looking at this 386 a month, which is exactly where it is now. So average price has been 541, currently 386 with 1158 up front. The GT spec on these 508s is really, really quite generous as well. Very nice cars, lovely thing to drive as well. And believe me, it feels like it's got a lot more power than a 3-cylinder 1.2 petrol may give you sort of images of in your mind. Really nice car. 1158 up front, 386 a month versus an average of 541. So moving up to some bigger SUVs now, we've got the Tiguan Allspace 1.5 TSI Life, 700 litres of boot space in this. I'm not sure if this one's a 7-seat or not. You can get the Tiguan Allspace in a 7-seat version, and I've added it here really because you don't see many 7-seat deals at the moment, as someone sent me in a message earlier today, I think. 0-62 in 10.3 seconds, 150 horsepower, insurance group 19, 41.5 mpg. 1200 is the initial payment and 403 a month. It is petrol. It is a factory order. Average price on it's been 417 a month, so this is nothing exceptional at the moment. It's just rare to see any kind of deal on a Tiguan Allspace, in fairness, so I thought I'd include it in this video. Now, this one is a bit more of a deal. It's the Alfa Romeo Tonale 1.5 mild hybrid Veloce. 1424 up front and 474 a month. This is a glorious looking thing, and actually the one they've got in the picture there is quite a nice colour, isn't it? But if you're not familiar with the Tonale, or as I call it, the toenail, then look, it's a very pretty car, as you expect from Alfa. I love Alfas. I never really want to own one, but I'd like to lease one. 8.8 seconds to 62, 160 horsepower, insurance group 29, 500 litres of boot space, and 45.6 mpg. 1,400 upfront, 474 a month. Now let's look at the pricing on this. Average price on it's been 587, folks. This time last year, 655 a month. At its peak in November, 699 a month. And really, we've been looking around that 600 to 650 mark most of the year. As we said, average price 587. Currently 474. It's over 100 quid less than that average price. With only 1,400 quid up front. This is a really, really good deal on what is quite a sought after car. Lovely, lovely thing, and the perfect car to go and lease. Now, if you were to lease one of these, it might be a wise decision to look at gap insurance. The sponsor of today's video, as has become the norm of late, is the wonderful Car2 Cover, car2cover.co.uk. I've just looked at a gap insurance policy here for this particular car, the Alfa Romeo Tonale or Toenail, at £41,500 if you're to buy one of those. And just consider you've got that car and it gets stolen while you've got it on a lease, or you write it off, and the insurance company only pays out £35,000, and the finance company that's providing you with the lease is asking you for £43,000 back, because not only do they want the cost of the car back, they also want the cost of the interest that they haven't earned on it. That might not be a realistic scenario, by the way, but I'm trying to explain to you how gap insurance works. Gap insurance basically covers the amount of the outstanding finance that's being requested by the finance company and the amount that the insurance company actually pays you out. And if there's any shortfall in that, usually you would have to pay it. When you've got gap insurance in place, the gap insurer steps in and covers that for you. Now, with the Car2 Cover policy, not only does it do that for you, also gives you up to 3 months advance rentals. So you're obviously going to need to lease another car. It'll pay you 3 months rentals for that replacement car. It includes factory fitted options, optional extras, etc. that you might have put onto the car, and they'll pay your car insurance excess up to 250 quid. So it's well worth having a look at this. 179 quid it would cost you for 3 years cover. So that covers your entire lease for 179 quid. If you give them a call on 01438 870 615 and say Jim 10, they'll also give you £10 off that. So you can get 3 years cover on a £41,500 car for 169 quid. Car2 Cover are very, very supportive of the channel, and a couple of great knowledgeable people that are absolute expert in gap insurance, whether it's on new, used, or leased cars. They can help you out. So go and check them out. Tell them I sent you and you'll get a tenner off. Next, we've got the Seat Tarraco. This is the 2-litre diesel TDI FR Sport DSG automatic. 150 horsepower, 9.9 seconds to 62, 50 mpg, 230 litres of boot space. But this one is a 7-seat. With those back seats down, it's going to be more like the 700 litres that we saw in that Tiguan All-Space, because it's basically the same car. 1,430 up front and 476 a month. This one is in stock, folks. This is the FR Sport, which is the absolute top level of trim in one of these. Average price on it for the past year has been 538 quid. This time last year, 535. December, 585. March, 607. But really, it's been floating around this sort of £500 mark for quite some time. Average price on it has been 538. Currently 476. With 1,430 up front, and it's in stock. I always say it, but the in-stock deals go very, very quickly. So if you are interested in getting one of these for yourself, click that link below, make an inquiry ASAP. Next, we've got the Suzuki A-Cross. I don't think we've seen one of these on the channel yet. This is a plug-in hybrid, by the way. It says here it's a CVT, but I think it's the eCVT. Which, if you've watched any of my car review videos on Hondas or Toyotas or Lexuses, you'll know the difference between that. I won't bore it with you here. And it's the E4. Now, one thing you may not know about the Suzuki A-Cross is that it's a Toyota RAV4. Yeah, it's not even similar to one. It sort of is one. Toyota basically licensed some of their vehicles out to Suzuki. So you've got things like the Suzuki Swace is actually a Toyota Corolla, and they've just stuck a Suzuki badge over the Toyota one. In fact, if you peel back the Suzuki one, you'll find the Toyota one underneath. So there are no differences. The RAV4 is one of the most popular SUVs going. It's one of the most reliable SUVs going. Therefore, so is the Suzuki A-Cross. Of course, it's the same thing. 302 brake horsepower, 6 seconds to 62. 282 mpg is quoted here. That's an absolute nonsense. These plug-in hybrids always have stupid mpg figures quoted. In reality, you might get 40, 45 out of it, something like that. Obviously, you can also drive it as a full EV, albeit with a fairly limited range. From memory, around about 40 miles of full EV range in the real world. 490 litres of boot space, insurance group 39, £1,500 up front and 505 a month. And again, this one's in stock. And look at this, average price on it, 620 quid. This time last year, 667 a month. At its peak in July, so literally 3 weeks ago at the time I'm recording this, it was 734 a month. It's currently 505 and it's in stock. That is a massive saving, folks. Over 200 quid a month cheaper than it was literally 3 weeks ago. 115 cheaper than the average for the last year. So this is an exceptional deal. It's probably one of the best deals in this video. It's an exceptionally good car, and I can't recommend it highly enough, really. So go and check it out. Next, we've got the Volvo XC60, or if you're in Spain, the Bulbo XC60. 2-litre T8 455 RC PHEV Ultimate Dark all-wheel drive G-Tron. So that's a plug-in hybrid, 4.9 seconds to 62 in an XC60. 455 brake horsepower, insurance group 41, 468 litres of boot space, and again, stupid MPG figure. 2,300 up front and 765 a month. This one again is in stock. It costs you 50 quid a month more to actually factory order one. Only 24 grams per kilometre, so it may be worthwhile for you to consider as a company car via your particular limited company, if you're self-employed, for example. 865 a month has been the average on this, so exactly 100 quid more than it is now. But look at this. August last year, 951 quid a month. 951. 886, 942, 957. We've obviously had a couple of little dips here as well, and you can see it's sort of flatlined over the last couple of weeks. But 865 has been the average price on it. Currently 765 with 2,300 up front. And if you've got 750 quid a month to spend on a car, it certainly looks a lot nicer than 950, 970. 971 that we're seeing there, doesn't it? Now, if money is no object and Greta is your enemy, you've got the BMW X3M, the xDrive X3M competition, Steptronic Auto, 3.8 seconds to 62, 510 brake horsepower, insurance group 45, 550 litres of boot space and 26 mpg, £3,000 up front, £1,000 a month. Pretty much. But here's the big story here. The average price on it, 1,420 quid a month. I can only imagine having £1,400 a month to spend on a car, but some of you do, so that's why it's in this video. This time last year, £1,179 a month. In March, £1,651 a month. In May, £1,818 a month. In June, £1,569 a month. Currently, £1,022 with £3,000 up front. I don't really have to tell you the numbers around the saving, but 420 quid is what you're saving against the average over the last 12 months. And if you compare it to what it would have cost you mid-May, you're saving £800 a month. So I hope you didn't sign up for one then, because that would be a bit sickening, wouldn't it? Obviously, it's loads of money, but if you've got that kind of money, it looks like a bit of a deal. So onto the EVs, we've covered this one a lot lately, so I'm going to go straight over, but you can still get the GWM or a Funky Cat for 900 up front and 300 a month. It's been around now for about a month, this deal, maybe a little bit longer. Let's have a look. Yeah, since 12th of June, you've been able to get one for around about 300 quid a month. It's currently 304.85 I think the lowest I've seen it was about 297, 296, something like that. But it always seems to be within about 5 out of 300 quid at the moment. As you can see, this time last year it was 536 a month. At its peak it was 604 a month. So this is really an EV to think about because they're very, very well spec'd. Cost over 30 grand to buy one. 300 quid a month with 900 up front. Next, we've got the VW ID3. I've never been a fan of the ID3. And by the way, if you're after a used EV, this is one to possibly consider buying because you can get a 3-year-old one now for not very much because they've depreciated massively. Yeah, certainly another good example of why you should possibly lease rather than buy if you're looking at a new EV. Just over £1,000 up front and $351 a month. It's the 150 kilowatt Life Pro Performance, 58 kilowatt hour, obviously automatic, and it's in stock. There's a bit of stock flying around at the moment because I think it's just about to get a facelift. One of those light facelifts where it doesn't really look any different, but they throw a bit more spec at it or something. 7.3 seconds to 62, so you're not going to hang around in it. This time last year, 435,508, September 603, February 634, April 550, May 491. Currently 351 with just over £1,000 up front, and it is in stock. That's a fantastic price. 130 quid less than the average price over the last 12 months. Very sought after cars. If the money's right, I'd take one, that's for sure. Next, we've got the Kia Niro EV, 150 kilowatt to 64 kilowatt hour. Now, the great thing with the Niro is it's always had really good range. And I believe you get like a heat pump as standard, so you're not losing loads of range in the winter. 1,200 up front, 405 a month, and it's in stock. That's particularly important because factory order on one of these takes a long time. So really good that this is in stock, and I don't think it's going to hang around as a result. The price is not particularly amazing. It's 30 quid a month less than the average for the last year. I suppose that is pretty amazing actually, because it won World Car of the Year I think last year, or certainly won several Car of the Year awards. You know, they are sought after. There is a really long wait for them. So 30 quid less than the average price is probably a bit of a deal. This time last year, 444. 460 at the end of August, at its peak 476 in June, currently 405 with 1,217 up front. Next we've got the Megane E-Tech, the EV60 Techno Optimum Charge, 280 miles of range, 217 horsepower, insurance group 27, 444 litres of boot space. 1,245 up front, 415 a month. Again, it's in stock. If you want a factory order one, it would cost you 88p a month more. 518 quid has been the average price on this over the last 12 months. We're currently saving £103 a month if we take this deal versus the average. 588 this time last year, 623 on the 15th of August last year. 613 in December, and then it's just started coming down, and for the last couple of weeks you've been able to get it for around about this price. 1,245 up front and £415 a month. Right, we've got another stock deal now. It's the VW ID4, and this one's amazing. It's the Life Pro Performance 77 kilowatt hour version, 320 miles of range, 204 brake horsepower, insurance group 26, and 543 litres of boot space. 1,500 up front and 500 a month. As I said, it's in stock, and you might think, oh, still £500 a month. But for one of these, that's not bad because they are blooming expensive to buy. And look at this. The average price on it has been £643 a month. This time last year it was 683, end of August 693, and November 785, and just back 22nd of May 753 a month. So to put that in perspective, it's currently £250 a month less than it was 2 months ago. Average of 643, currently 1,500 up front and £500 a month. So we've got a couple of stonking execs for you here this month. We're starting off with the A6 Avant, one of my favourite cars ever. 40 TFSI S-Line, S-Tronic, Tech Pack Pro, petrol, automatic, lovely thing. 7.5 seconds to 62, 204 horsepower, insurance group 34, 565 litres of boot space, and fuel consumption is 37.7 mpg. You can get much more than that on a run in one of these. 1,600 up front and 539 a month. This one is a factory order. It's petrol, as I said, but look at this. For some reason the prices only go back a couple of months, but it was 832 a month back in July. That gives us an average of 686 now, because currently it's 539 a month with 1,618 up front. That's a brilliant price. And if you prefer a saloon to the Avant, that's available to you too. It's £1 a month more. This one's the 40 TFSI S-Line S-Tronic Tech Pack Pro. All the stats are basically the same, tiny bit better on the saloon because obviously it's a bit lighter. 1,622 up front and 540 a month. Once again, the numbers only go back to July, but it's a good saving against that July price. Still deals floating around on these BMW 8 Series Grand Coupes. This one's the 840i M Sport, which we've seen in plenty of other videos. 2,279 up front and 759 a month. It is a factory order again. Average price of them has been 793. Currently 759. Big rapid beast of a car. And if you want the big daddy of them all, you've got the M8 Competition. 3.2 seconds to 62, 625 brake horsepower, insurance group 50, 440 litres of boot space and 24.6 mpg. 3,649 up front and 1,200 a month. And these deals have been around for a little while now, in fairness, haven't they? January they started, when it suddenly dropped. The price just fell off a cliff. Prior to that, you'd struggle to get one of these for under about £1,800 a month. Look there, January, it was 2,171 a month. And cheapest to have seen, it's been 1,157 a month. Currently 1,216 with 3,649 up front. Just a couple of commercials to end this one out. We've got an electric one and a diesel one for you. We've got the VW ID Buzz Cargo, 150 kilowatt commerce, 77 kilowatt hour, 1,346 up front and 448 a month. Remember, you need to add VAT to these as they're commercial vehicles. VAT's not included on Lease Loco. On all the other stuff in this video that we've seen already, that's all got VAT included because it's a private lease. With a business lease, you always have to add VAT. Pricing's been all over the shop on this. Look, at its peak, £671 a month. At the lowest point you could possibly get one was £423 a month. Currently £448 with 1,346 up front. And then we've got the Ford Transit. It's the 2-litre Eco Blue 170 PS H2 limited van. 33.6 mpg, 1,388 up front and 462 a month. And if we compare that against the averages, look at this. This is insanity. So August, it was 557, August last year. December, £1,000. March, 828. Obviously, we've had periods this year where getting vans has been so difficult, and particularly getting transits, which have been rarer than hen's teeth on occasion. This one's in stock, 462 a month with 1,388 up front. Folks, please support my sponsors. Lease Loco, there's the link there in the video description, so you can go and check out any of these deals, or indeed go and look for your own. And of course, Car2 Cover, who are there to cover things like gap insurance, scratch and dent cover, alloy wheel cover, all that kind of good stuff. And please remember, I'm not one of these people that just takes money off people and will promote any old toot, okay? If I wouldn't recommend it to my own family, I'm not going to recommend it to you. And I promise you, I mean that. Please give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. As I said, only about 20%, 25% of people watching this will be subscribers. It's completely free, takes a second. If you're new to the channel, I do one of these every month. I do the in-stock deals, usually a couple of weeks after. And then towards the end of the month, I'll do an EV deals video where we just purely look at deals on electric vehicles. I hope you enjoy the content, folks. Please leave some kind of comment and I'll see you soon. This video is sponsored by Car2 Cover, the gap insurance experts. Visit their website for an instant online quotation and use the code JIM10 to get £10 off your purchase.